is that you always flip your meat over when it starts sticking. You don't want it to suction cup up. You want to flip it over, make sure it doesn't get stuck. And then you'll have crispy critters that are stuck, and then you have to poke them through the bottom of it. So I'm going to show you, and I'm pretty positive, all the YouTubing I've been looking at, that my smoker is probably one of the biggest smokers, or the biggest. And it's traditionally, I'm doing this, this is Elk Jerky. So I'll show you real quick and if you have any questions, make sure that you're asking me so that you're doing it correctly. And we're gonna get started. When you're doing jerky in the summertime and your fire starts getting hotter, then you're gonna use your green alder that is wet or alive. Where we get our alder from here is in Sadist Pass. Or you can get in the closed area, regardless. So once we start slicing it, we're gonna lay our meat out. We're gonna start setting it out, which doesn't take very long to slice it up this quick. The process is making sure that you're getting it laid out. So when you're laying it out right now, so like I said, our backdraft goes like this, so it tends to smoke faster. Dries it out really quick. So you're going to use your thicker and your bigger pieces to make sure that you do it. So you'll notice these pieces, how thin they are. We'll give you an idea how thin they are within the finger. And then you're going to lay them out. Since I can't reach across the rack right now at this point, I'll just continue to fill it. Making sure that you don't have your pieces of jerky stuck to each other. Done that before, where then you're like smoking two pieces stuck together like a double cheeseburger. So it needs to make sure that they're apart from each other. And then you lay it down evenly. So our thinner pieces, of course, are going to be right here on the sides. When you lay them down on the sides, it just smokes slower. But at the same time, if you're always constantly watching it, you're gonna get a good idea of where it's at. It's just like your steak if you're on a frying pan, but in this case, we're smoking. We're drying it. We're not using dehydrators. We're not doing anything like that. This is the top of the line. This is the professional way to do it. If you do any other way, like I said, if you're using your 6-inch slicer, or you're even using your hand and you're doing it by hand, by cutting it, then that's what you have. And then use that to your advantage and then go from there. And then all the thing is that all the time that when you're doing this, when you're slicing, is that you always want to upgrade. You always want to get better. And this is the way you're going to get better. This is the way. This is a traditional way, and it is the best that you're going to get. And you're going to have so much smoke on it. As soon as we get over to the smoker, you're going to see that this smoker is no joke. The way we're doing it, it's made to make a lot of jerky in a short amount of time. So these racks right now that we're looking at as we're filling it up, the bigger slices you can get, then the more jerky in a short amount of time you're gonna make. So as we fill our racks up, as we're talking about, this is gonna make up to 2.5 gallon bags of jerky. And I'll be rotating, once I move these over, I'll be rotating to the other side so that so I'm not stretching over across and making it look more difficult than actually it is. I'm pushing it. So we're still moving. This pace is normal for us. It's not it looks like, I don't know, maybe it's slow for some people, but this is the normal pace. This is what the pace is in this piece is. garbage burger, let's just say not garbage, that we move at. So then once we laid out most of the meat, then we will start putting some more. Whatever your excess is, always goes to burger or pepperoni sticks. So then we'll start on our next pieces, make our next cuts. And this time, I've already showed you like what it was like to go slow and make good cuts. And then if it's the more frozen it is or not defrosted, then the wider that you will want to make your cuts. What I always do is put my meat out before I go to work, so that it's all nice and easy to cut when I get back. But now that it's warm, or it's getting towards the winter time and whatnot, it's not as easy to do as it normally is. That's fine. So just figure out your in-between, how you have to do. That goes to our burger. We'll be finishing up this last page. And so when you have your little pieces, you can just plug them in everywhere to make sure that you have your full rack and whatnot. And it's always typical. I'm gonna swing around and I'm gonna start on the other side. So then we'll start plugging everything else in that we want. Trying to keep our timeline so that we're not boring everyone to death by watching this forever. And every time we try to play music, they tend to cut us off so that we can't play music. So we're wrapping it up. We're coming down to the end to make sure this is going further than anything else. This was taught to me. I've self-taught myself this, and I find it more encouraging that I can show people how to do this and do it correctly, which is fine. Like if people are showing you, but this is an opportunity to be shown by the best. That someone that I've done this for 15 years.